Hey, Pete Winarski here, founder and CEO of Win Enterprises LLC. And of course, we help to transform you as well as your team and, of course, your company and getting your company results to really rock. We're broadcasting this through our More Revenue, More Profit Facebook group. I hope you're a member. If you're not, get over there. You get into the group. You don't wait for another invitation. Just jump on board because that's where we are going to continue to keep answering your questions, dropping tidbits in there, and it's going to be an amazing place for you to build some community of like-minded resources. We really want you small business owners there so we can help you out. That's the point. That's the idea, to be a value-add place to hang out. So hang out with us. What I'd like to talk about today, I had a conversation, David and I met with one of our friends and advisors the other day, and we were talking about some of the things that we're doing, which, more revenue, more profit is a pretty descriptive name, right? Because that's what business leaders want. They need more revenue, they need the profit, and that's just in general, how do I solve my biggest problems to make that a reality? That's what this is about. And interestingly, we spend a lot of energy for small businesses talking about the revenue side because you've got to have cash coming in the door. You have to have top line revenue in order to pay the bills, in order to pay your rent, in order to pay your employees, in order to fund whatever projects you've got going on, and of course, end up with bottom line profit, right? So we need all of that to happen. And, his challenge to us on your behalf, right, to think about you small business leader, what is it that really ends up mattering to you is probably your bottom line, especially in this time of, the pandemic and COVID and people still working from home. I know people who haven't been in their office since the beginning of March, and they ain't got no plans to go back, right? They're not going back anytime soon. The other companies can't wait. Obviously, I'm in my office. We're in our Win Enterprises office right now. David's on a call upstairs. I'm down here. We're functioning. But a lot of people are like, well, given this time of COVID, what am I noticing? Are processes really necessary? Is going to the office really necessary? Do I have customers or clients that maybe are not necessary, right? The phrase he used was driftwood. Do you have driftwood laying around, right? Meaning then there's an exercise that we do with clients, which is to take the array of all of your customers, your clients, the sources of revenue. This is especially true in a service industry, right? You can line up your clients and do the Pareto, so highest to lowest, right? And so you got the highest one, who's contributing the most cash flow revenue into your business and who's contributing the most profit into your business. And what does that stack look like? And are there some people on the tail? As you get through that stack, you get people down at the tail that are not really big revenue clients for you. And they're not really coming at you contributing a lot of revenue or a lot of profit. In fact, does it take a lot of energy for you to manage and serve a client that's relatively small on your array? And if that's true, should you keep them, right? So his idea of driftwood is do you have anybody who's there, but they're really not adding to your business? You work hard and struggle to serve them well, yet you really don't get a whole lot, and maybe they're even a pain in the butt, right? So that's on the revenue side. And the profit side, same thing. If they're just not contributing, if the contribution of profit is really small, you need to know that. So that's an analysis. So his challenge was, yes, people want revenue. They want more clients and more money coming in the door, right? The top line revenue. But what if you could help them to clean up their costs, clean up their processes? Wouldn't that be more beneficial? And the light turned on for David and I, because of course we're business consultants. This is what we do with the larger companies all day long. This is where we play more often than not. In fact, part of our thought process is, of course, we can take a small business, help them to grow and help them to grow profitably, because as we help them to grow, we won't let the costs go out of control because we know how to manage that, how to handle that. We know, things from, direct labor and materials and indirect labor and materials. And then, of course, overhead. And we know benchmarks against all of those categories, and we know how to streamline. We understand lean processes. It's in our DNA. We came out of the wire mold and the Toyota production system mentality and background, and, on and on and on. So, of course, that matters to a small business. In fact, it may be easiest for you to look at, what changes can I make in my cost structure right now? Can I reduce my costs? The people on the team, do I need them all? Like, I don't want to be crass about it, but it's just a challenging question. Do you have people who maybe don't fit, or maybe it's a whole lot of energy for you to bring them along and work with them? And might the better answer be for you to part ways? Like, right? I'm not doing that. And we're not talking about layoffs. We're not talking, which could be the case, by the way, because obviously in this pandemic and this economy, there's layoffs all over the place. There's layoffs and furloughs, and, our unemployment is at, like, I think an all-time high. I'm not sure what the current data is, but it's like out of control, and people are not going back to work. So first of all, do you have the right people on the team? Secondly, are you paying the right level for what you're getting? Are the people able to do the job that they need to do? So not being crass about it, just take a look, right? Take a look. What about other expenses? Obviously, people are thrilled to get rid of their leases, to get rid of their buildings, to get rid of their people are selling, people are ending their lease, they're reducing their lease, they're doing all kinds of things there. And it's just part of the reality, again, of today's world. It's a question that I encourage you to look at and ask. Do I need the building, right? Do I need to go into an office every day? Maybe you do. Maybe you're more productive there, in which case the return on investment is out of control good, right? Out of control good for you by doing those things. You just have to know, right? So what's the message here? You need to know the answer. What makes you more profitable? Do you have driftwood is really the key question. Do you have driftwood that you're not paying attention to? It's adding costs to you in some way, that your answer might be better to just let the driftwood drift away from you, right? Whether that's an expense on your cost structure, your P&L on the expense side. Could be people, could be customers or clients, right? Just that's a really interesting, challenging question. So if you're not exactly sure how to do that, get in touch with us. We'll run you through the framework and help you through that exercise to think about it a little bit differently. All right, have a fantastic 3-day weekend. Here we are, Labor Day already. Welcome to fall, and we'll catch you on probably Wednesday next week. All right, take care.